Yeah, right. Okay. So hello, musicians. So today we're going to talk about and learn and perform and compose our own rhythmic patterns. Now, when I say the word rhythm, what kind of things come to mind? And granted, nothing is a wrong answer because it's what you think of when I say the word rhythm. Yeah.
What we do during the time in the music.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. What goes on in the music? Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
The beat.
Beat. Okay. Exactly. What can you describe a beat to me? Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
An ongoing pulse.
Absolutely. Okay. Ongoing pulse. Okay. Our heart has a beat. Okay. We have beat in music. There's a rhythm to pretty much anything in life. Okay. So when we say the word rhythm, rhythm is derived from the Greek word rhythmo. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I think that's what it was. From the Greek word rhythmos. Which basically means measured motion. Okay, so how would measured motion apply to music? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like how time goes by. We have measures, and the music's always moving.
Yep, we're moving in the
Measure
music.
by measure.
Yeah, measure by measure. Okay, yes, absolutely. Anything else? So, okay, so if we go off of that definition, I think rhythm is basically defined as a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. Okay? So, now, for right now, take 10 seconds to talk to your neighbor how a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound would apply to music that we perform. So you three could talk and you two could talk.
Yeah, so the rhythm goes. I don't know.
Okay, so let's hear some answers. Okay, so what do you guys talk about in this group?
Calvin.
No, I don't think
It's something, it's like you said, it's a pulse that just keeps on going. It repeats. Sometimes they could change.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends, I guess, on the artist or the composer.
Absolutely. So it can change.
Yeah.
Why would you think the rhythm or the pulse would change?
To fit the ideas of the composer, you could say.
Fit the ideas of the composer. What ideas would those be?
Anything.
Yeah.
I just anything.
Anything. Yeah. Anybody have any other ideas on that? Like what ideas? Like what exactly? Why would we change the rhythm in music?
Well, something's like really exciting,
Mhm.
the rhythm might change, or
Yeah.
something's sad,
Yeah.
it might change.
How would the rhythm change necessarily if, I mean, and again, this is just a guess, you know what I mean? This is just what we think. When we hear music and we hear it's exciting, what happens? You know? It's fast, okay? It's fast, yeah.
The melody usually has a lot more notes.
Okay, there's a lot of-
shorter notes.
A lot more changing going on in the note duration. Yeah, exactly. So basically, rhythm comes down to so when we talk about rhythm, the first thing we talk about is the pulse. Okay? It's the steady, repeating beat in music. It's what we measure all of our note values, all the different movement in music is based off the pulse. Okay? Now this is a pulse right here. It could be fast. It could be a really fast pulse. Or it could be a really slow, walking tempo pulse. Okay. So let's try some pulses out. Repeat after. So I'm going to do a pulse, and you're going to play it back to me. Okay. So I'm going to clap. Ready? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we got a slow, medium, fast pulse. It can be any speed that we want. Okay. So now let's play a beat. And let's create some rhythmic patterns around that, okay? I need to edit this really quick because I realize I don't have my cell phone right here. My cell phone underneath my jacket.
No, is it in your
That's
phone?
what I don't
Oh, that's right, it's recorded.
Oh,
Okay,
you don't
that's
mind
right.
cell phone?
Give a metronome.
You can choose
Yeah.
one. I use this ladder anyways.
Where's it at? Oh,
Just search it on the computer. The speakers.
Yeah.
you got it? Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna play a pulse, and I'm gonna do some rhythmic patterns based off that pulse, okay? So actually, I'm gonna go for the one computer just so we can hear it. So that's our pulse right there, okay? I'm gonna make some rhythmic patterns, and we're gonna go, you guys are gonna repeat it after me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, okay, perfect. So, now you kind of get it that we move everything in music. We create everything in music based off of that pulse, okay? That pulse is that driving heartbeat of the music, and we kind of create whatever we want to say with it based off of that. So, now, let's talk about the symbols we use to denote how long we want those beats to last, okay? So sometimes we want it a long held note, or sometimes we want it a short one. So let's just talk about that real quick. So, now in music, there's a lot of different ways we can talk about rhythm. For right now though, let's call this a whole note, okay? And this whole note gets 4 beats. Now sometimes it can get different beats, but for right now, what we're talking about, this whole note gets 4 beats. Now, so let's say I want to get a smaller note. So I want to divide this whole note into 2, okay? And because of that, I need to make it look a little bit different, so I'm going to add a line. So now if this whole note gets 4 beats, if I divide it into 2, how many beats do you think these 2 notes would get? 2, exactly. So, since this is a whole note and this is half of a whole note, we call this a half note, okay? And this equals 2 beats, okay? Now let's say I want it even smaller than that. So we get down, we want to break these 2 down in half, okay? And to make it a little bit different, I'm just going to fill it in so it looks different than a half note, okay? Great. So, now if this equals to 2, how many notes do you think this equals? If this is 4, divide that in half, this equals 2. Divide this in half, how many beats do you think this note would get? 1, exactly. So now this is 4 beats right here, okay? A whole note is made up of 4 beats, okay? So one of these is 1 of 4, okay? Or 1/4 of a whole note. It's another word for a 1/4 that we use. Quarter, there you go. 4 quarters equals $1. So we call this a quarter note. All right, so let's say we want even smaller than that. Okay, we divide each one into half. Okay. And to make it a little bit different, I'm going to add a little bit of a line right there. And so on and so forth. You get the picture, okay? So, if this is equal to 1 beat, and I divide that in half, how much of a beat do you think this equals? 1.5?
1/2.
1/2, there you go. Okay? So it's 1/2. So how many of these are in a whole note? If there's 4 quarter notes in a whole note, and each of those we divide that into 2. So we're basically doing 2 times 4. So I just almost gave you the answer. How many of these type of notes are in a whole note? 8, there you go, okay? So if it's 1/8, we're just gonna call this right here an 8th note, okay? I may have spelled 8 wrong, but whatever. Okay, perfect. So let's try that real quick. Let's give this a beat and let's try clapping these notes real quick. So I'm gonna give you a steady pulse, and then we're gonna clap each note for the amount of beats it's worth. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and good, good, good. Perfect. All right. So we got that figured out. Now, what we're gonna do is go into composing our own rhythms. So each of you can now put under your resume part-time composer, because you guys can compose your own songs. What I've done for you is created each of these style of notes. We have a whole note, you have 2 half notes, 4 quarter notes, and you should have 4 eighth notes. What you're gonna do with your group or your partner is create your own rhythmic pattern based off of what we just did, okay? So, ready, go, and if you have any questions,